couldn't say more about the football team. That's a lively locker room right now. All three phases played at a high level today. Extremely excited about where we're at. And, of course, not going to get too high a pad level right now. I know there's always things we can continue to work on. They know that, but we'll talk about that on Monday. And, you just look at it, third down, Coach Braun and the defensive staff, limiting them to 1 out of 10. That's pretty good. That's a good job getting off the field. And, offensively, running for 300 yards, 300 plus. I think those two things, playing great defense, being able to run the football, and our special teams being able to win the field position, it has been our recipe and will continue to be our recipe for success here at NDSU. And with that, I'm going to open it up for questions.
Coach, your first question is from Jackson Roberts. Jackson?
Matt, let's talk Hunter. What did you see from him and what impressed you the most?
Well, I saw a guy running for a lot of yards and bringing some energy to the team. Big back, provides a number of different skill sets. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's great in protection. He just added a boost and a guy that we were missing. And it's great to have him. I mean, it's been a long process for him. We thought we'd have him a couple weeks ago, had to go back to the drawing board and just, tickled that he had, coming out. But, you go back to October, he had a pretty special game against Central Arkansas at that time. We knew he was a special talent.
Were you surprised at all that, this game was just so explosive right out of the gate?
No, I'm not. I thought it was there. You go back and watch our previous games. Last week, opening kickoff, we're a shoelace away from taking it. The third play of the game, we don't bust on protection. It's a touchdown. It's been there. But today we executed and we finished the snap, and that's what was so critical.
Devin Fry?
Coach, talking about if you guys come into this game wanting to feed them as much as you did, or did they just get hot?
Got hot, and both of them are relatively fresh right now, and so that was a positive. Both of them provide a little bit bigger back, and both of them get downhill quick, and both of them have tremendous speed as well. So a lot of positives, and both those guys did a great job.
Talking about Luepke's first carry of the game, I think 50 yards to the house. How important was it to get a hot start against a team as good as UND is?
Well, it's always important. I mean, it doesn't matter who you're playing. If you can pop a big one right off the bat like that, that gets the big mo going. And anytime you can have momentum, that's a positive thing.
This is the start of a kind of big stretch of games for you guys. Kind of how important was it to get the win here to keep going into the rest of the season?
You know what? It was the only game we had this week, so it was the most important one. Not looking ahead at anything. I'm going to enjoy this one, and we'll get back to work in the morning.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Zach Staten?
Coach, you've been on the other side as a defensive coordinator. When you have a guy like Hunter that's doing what he does, how debilitating, how frustrating is that for the defense when he's just ripping carries the way he was?
Well, I think let's make sure we give credit where credit is due now, Zach. The tight ends, you talk about, when you look at Noah and Josh, those are like offensive linemen with wings. When we're getting in all our big sets and we're popping some runs, it starts with our guys up front. And then Hunter, another member of the crew chief, getting in the backfield. If we can't win the line of scrimmage, it doesn't matter how good your back is. And so before we want to give Hunter all the accolades, let's make sure that we're giving due notice to that offensive line who came in today with a chip on their shoulder ready to go.
What is it about Zeb in these end of first halves? These plays just continue to seem to come in stretches here. That's the third time you guys have done something like that.
Well, he needs to slow down a little bit. He gets he wants to be perfect. He wants to go so fast. Sometimes he rushes throws. He thinks he just needs to breathe. And we talked about that this week. That's the most important thing you do in a competition is taking a big breath.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Eric Peterson?
Like you said, it just seemed the offensive line surge was there all day. I mean, where do you think that started, and why? Especially with a guy like Gray Zabel, some young guys. I mean, why do you think it played out the way it did?
Well, Eric, I think it started 6 weeks ago. It was part of the process. We were going in here. We had some guys we had to move around, new positions. Young guys had to step up and fill some roles. I mean, it just didn't click overnight. It's been an ongoing effort by Coach Larson, who's done a tremendous job of jumping into those shoes, being the offensive line coach, and you see the hard work and the effort that he's put into it. You know, we reap the rewards of it today, but it wasn't just magic overnight. We just all of a sudden were able to run the ball. Consistency, staying true to who we are, making sure that we still appreciate our identity, and that's being the most physical team in the country.
As a coach, do you get more pleasure on some of those power runs where it's almost like rugby scrums and it looks like, Luepke or whatever back to start in, the lineman kind of surged, the pile 3 or 4 more extra yards?
Well, I do because I'm not the defensive coordinator that has to worry about it. So heck yeah, I like that because there's not a whole lot of good calls for getting knocked off the ball. You can call whatever you want, but if our guys are getting up underneath their shoulder pads and moving the line of scrimmage, you feel almost helpless at times as a coordinator.
At quarterback, was that your plan to start with Zeb and Sprinkle and Cam? And I guess how did the quarterback just thing play out as the game went along for you?
Exactly. That's what our plan was the whole time, was to start Zeb. He had a great week of practice, and we'll watch film tomorrow, make sure that we like what we see. But we knew we were going to get Cam in there as well. Cam's done nothing wrong. Cam has been a young guy who's come in. A year ago, Cam was in the state tournament in basketball in the state of Iowa. And now he's playing in, Fargo, North Dakota, in front of as full a house as we can have, and playing Division I football. He's done everything we've asked, and so he deserves to play because he does bring some things to the table that defenses have to prepare for.
And then just finally, just talk about being able to shake off some of the early turnovers. It looked like you were in a position to maybe build a bigger lead early on in a couple turnovers. Just describe some of that stuff.
Well, I think you talk about complementary football. I made a comment earlier. They were 1 of 10 on third downs. Hey, offense turns it over. Defense got to get a stop. Special teams got to play big, and that's what happened today. We had an excellent week of practice. We didn't talk about UND probably but for 3 minutes and 30 seconds all week. All we talked about was us and where we needed to improve to take the next step. And I couldn't be more excited about our kids and their willingness to buy into the message, drink the Kool-Aid, whatever you want to say.
Thank you.
You bet.
Mike McFeely.
Yeah, Matt, in your opening statement, you said you really love where this team is at right now. Can you just go into that a little bit further? I know what just happened on the field, but are you feel like you're getting to where you want to be at this point?
I don't, maybe I misspoke. I like where we're at today. No, but there's room for improvement, Mike. But I didn't talk about that in there with them. They need to enjoy this one. It's too easy as a coach sometimes to come in there and say, great job, but I tried to avoid that today. Let them feel good about themselves. They won a big game because it was the only one we had this week. And we'll worry about the other one come Monday when we get a chance to get together in the afternoon. But they keep coming to work every day and putting in the time, putting in the effort. Thursday afternoons, you come up to our office. Every position coach's office is packed with guys watching film, asking questions. I knew last night at our special teams meeting, we were locked in. We had guys asking questions, making sure they were right on with everything they needed to have. And that shows some maturity. Now, we're not where we need to be, but we're moving.
You think you're back in the national championship discussion?
Nope.
Or do you feel like you never left it?
Nope. We never was in it. Shoot, I vote. I'm one of the guys. I'm on the coaches poll. I didn't even put us in the top 25.
Tough on your team. Otis Weah had the one big run in the first half.
Good back. We knew he was going to, he runs hard.
But other than that, I was going to say, but you held him pretty much in check in the second half. And what defensive line gets credit there? Or what's about that?
I think everyone got credit on the one play that he broke. We kind of had a little bit. We got cut on the backside at the 3 technique. Our Sam Backer didn't play it correctly, and so it wasn't necessarily something that they did. We just weren't as good as we could be, and we just kept challenging our kids. Coach Braun, we played some different fronts this week, so they couldn't cut the backside. I think that forced the ball to stay front side and not get downhill. If you can make him run to the sidelines, he's a solid back. You allow him to get his shoulders north and south, he's pretty dang good.
Last thing is that a couple injuries today. It looked like Kobe was on crutches in the sideline, and Jackson Hank, I don't think, played in the second half. What's going on there?
Guys, I come straight from the locker room. I haven't had an opportunity to get into the training room. Knock on wood, we're going to be okay. But it was fun to see Luke Wirtz get out there and get a chance to really get a bunch of reps. And he was locked in this afternoon. And I'm excited where he can go.
Thank you.
Yep.
Coach, that's all the questions we have for you. Congratulations on the win.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Life is stressful. Family, work, money, health. Don't let stress keep you down, hold you back, or beat you. Find your own way for your body, mind, and soul. You can get up. You can get ahead. You can win in your own way on your own time. Shields.